You already know more than you think, you just haven't learned how to read people's hidden signals. From the start, society trains us to trust words, but Friedrich Nietzsche warned that every profound spirit needs a mask. In other words, people often don't speak from truth, but from survival, ego, or fear. The surface of their personality is armor. For example, a seemingly kind person may fear rejection, and a stoic friend may be crumbling inside. By learning these truths, you see people's masks for what they are. You begin to understand others with compassion, not judgment. Truth 1, everyone wears a mask to survive. We create personas to fit in. Their uncomfortable slips, a tense laugh, diverted eye contact, reveal the real person. Example, a celebrity's perfect Instagram persona versus who they really are behind the scenes. They show a polished smile to the world, but leak insecurity. Truth 2, what you hate in others reflects what you fear in yourself. Projection. When someone constantly mocks arrogance, they may be insecure about their own worth. If a peer rants about liars, maybe they're hiding a truth they haven't faced. Example, a politician who loudly accuses others of fake news might be avoiding their own failures. Truth 3, silence speaks louder than words. Long pauses or evasive answers often signal fear. When someone dodges a topic or freezes under questioning, it shows what they won't say. Example, in history, famous leaders like Winston Churchill often fell silent when asked about personal fears. Their silence spoke volumes about their inner struggles. Nietzsche viewed empty talk as herd behavior, implying truth lies in what's unsaid. Truth 4, excessive virtue can be vanity. The person loudly proclaiming moral superiority may be hiding insecurity. Nietzsche called overly righteous behavior a disguised will to power. When someone virtue signals, example, incessantly correcting others, they might secretly crave attention or dominance. Example, a social media activist demanding praise while privately cutting corners, or a teacher who preaches compassion but secretly judges students harshly. Truth 5, people lie to themselves first. Phrases like, I'm fine, or it doesn't matter, are often rehearsed self-deceptions. Nietzsche saw self-deception as a defense mechanism. So if someone's story doesn't add up, for example, it was nothing after a breakup, it usually means they've been fooling themselves. Those little inconsistencies reveal the real truth hiding beneath the lie. Truth 6, where someone feels superior, they often hide inferiority. Boasting accomplishments can mask insecurity. Real confidence doesn't need to prove anything. Example, a braggart constantly name drops accomplishments might secretly fear failure. If someone has to dominate every conversation or competition, look deeper. Often behind the mask of pride is a frightened child who just wants to feel enough. Notice a pattern. These first 6 truths are about the masks people wear and the fears underneath. Next, we'll explore how unconscious drives like fear and envy shape behavior even more. Part 2, fear and projection. Truth 7, most actions are driven by unconscious fear. Underneath grand motives are often hidden anxieties. If someone over-explains or aggressively leads a discussion, consider that they might be afraid of being misunderstood or forgotten. Example, in business or personal life, a high achiever who can't relax may actually fear losing status or failing. They seem driven, but deep down, they're anxious. Nietzsche observed humans rarely act from pure desire, more often from fear of loss or humiliation. Truth 8, excessive criticism is projection. When someone constantly points out flaws in others, they're often confessing their own hidden flaws. Example, The person who mocks drama queens might actually fear their own emotional side. The harsh boss who constantly criticizes lateness may be insecure about their own time management. Nietzsche said judgment is usually about ourselves. The real clue is in the criticizer's own life. Truth 9. Chronic confidence can hide guilt. A person who always appears unshakably confident may be burying guilt or shame. True calm doesn't need to shine. Example, a politician who never admits mistakes might actually be covering up regrets. Nietzsche observed leaders and preachers who perform certainty often fear being seen as flawed. Truth 10. Extremes in speech reveal doubt. People who insist, "I don't care," often care deeply, and those who claim, "I'm always happy," likely aren't. Exaggerated statements are tells of insecurity. Example, someone who loudly brags about never feeling sadness probably hasn't dealt with a personal loss. Nietzsche noted that absolute statements mask the insecurity underneath and are not true strength. Part 3. Envy, the past, and the soul. Truth 11. The louder the performance, the emptier the core. Nowadays, constant look-at-me behavior, social media overposting, dramatic public personas, shows desperation, not true confidence. Example, an Instagram influencer's perfect life photos might hide loneliness. Nietzsche saw such performance as a whisper of need rather than power. Someone secure doesn't need constant attention. They're already whole inside. Truth 12. People act out their childhood roles, not their stated beliefs. Past wounds replay in present behavior. Example, a person who felt ignored as a child might interrupt conversations as an adult to demand attention. Nietzsche said those dynamics repeat the roles they were forced to play. So look at their backstory. Behind every angry adult is a frightened child. Behavior is biography. Truth 13. No one speaks from pure logic. They speak from pain. Every argument often shields an emotional wound. Example, a friend declaring, "I don't believe in love," is actually hurting from a past heartbreak, not stating a cold fact. Nietzsche believed our deepest pains shape our beliefs. When you hear a strong opinion, ask what hurt them, and suddenly their words become shields, not weapons. Truth 14. Their patterns are a confession if you learn to listen. Repeated behavior is essentially telling a secret. Example, someone who repeatedly ghosts, dates when things get serious, is saying their own fear of intimacy, even if they won't admit it. Nietzsche taught that by listening to patterns, not just words, you can hear the truth before it's spoken. When you see a friend always work late to avoid home, it's a silent message about their inner restlessness. If these insights resonated, hit subscribe to see more content on reading people and understanding yourself. Comment below which truth surprised you most. Remember, once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them, and that kind of clarity is a responsibility, not a curse.